Hi there guys, welcome to a Schematics update featuring myself, Fog, BlindIRL and Silv. This is probably going to be a little bit off the rails considering I'm introducing this one. Let's get some proper introductions going. My name is Fog and I do random stuff on the internet, tweet and all that kind of stuff.
I am Silvarret. I've been pulled last minute into this recording. You can find my stuff at YouTube/Silvarret, Twitter/Silvarret. Pretty much whatever /Silvarret.
Hi, I'm Blind. Adfo was out to dinner, and we're recording without him, because sometimes we need to do that. You can find me at stupidskull.com. We have two screenshots here we want to look at today. The first one was posted yesterday, and it shows this kind of explosion scene, so there's a lot to speculate about here right off the bat.
What I kind of get the impression of the explosions is we might see something a little bit similar to Knight Rider, where there was like a specialist 80s explosion style. I think that is going to be relatively modular in all of the pieces, just as a use case really. Like the car will be a bit separate, the actual animatronics will be separate, but they'll all be able to talk together on some kind of display sequencer and make these cool effects that we're seeing.
So are you suggesting we're going to have an animated car that just like sits there and then randomly flips over?
Potentially. Like in the adventure pack we had the crocodiles on rails almost.
I think that they're gonna be animated. Like, I don't think Frontier would add these into the game unanimated, because that might work for these screenshots, but I think they'll keep in mind that, you know, this is gonna be a bit of a gameplay element, not to mention that there's so many YouTube videos and stuff of this game that they do kind of want to get some promotion through. So I think that these kind of events will definitely be animated.
Yeah, and just looking more at the screenshot, I'm probably looking for this, hoping that it's a thing. Could have sworn that there's a little bit of a silhouette of a pole on the car just below the windscreen. That might actually be the justification that Planet Coaster are well known for with their animatronics. These animatronics, the camera operator and the boom operator, they might actually move about, so the guy with the boom might actually adjust his grip or move it a little bit, and the guy with the camera might actually pan or mess with the lens. You can see he's touching the focal ring on the lens at the moment. There might be some kind of elements on there which will be cool.
I know a lot of people are going to have an absolute field day with those green screens.
Well, yeah, like there's been occasions where I've seen people using green screens already.
Oh, absolutely. But as you said, in the other screenshot, there's a lot more going on. Mm-hmm. There's, again, more of these facades in the background, and we see a huge, essentially, traffic jam of different vehicles, which I am very happy about. In the very first screenshot we saw on day one, which was actually the thumbnail from the original announcement trailer, we saw a handful of different vehicles, but this is actually giving us an idea of how many, like the variety of vehicles we're going to have, as well as buses and big trucks and things. This is going to fill out all parking lots. The amount of pieces that we're going to save from this is kind of crazy, actually.
Yeah.
I get the impression that there are a couple obviously dedicated vehicles like the police one, fire engine and the taxi, but there are a couple vehicles closer towards the pavement and the building that look like they are a similar design but different colours. So that might be something that they do, where they actually have flexicolour or multiple colour variant options on these to do more with less kind of thing.
Right, and I think most of the stuff which you're seeing is kind of service related, so there's fire trucks and police cars and that sort of stuff, but it looks like those maybe recolorable ones are just normal civilian cars that kind of crashed or something, whatever happened. So I'm really hoping that we do get that huge amount of variety, you know, just in case you want to build parking lots here.
I think we need to discuss this, considering it's glaring us right in the eyes at the moment. The PCPD helicopter, that's the Planet Coaster Police Department helicopter.
Do you think it's going to be on a track? Do you think it's like not literally on a track, but do you think it's actually going to move? Or do you think it'll just sit in one place with the thing spinning?
I think it has to move. It can't just float.
I really hope it has like a pattern that it flies in, like a big figure eight or something.
I can only agree. It would be nice to have both the options, where you can have one which is I would imagine with a lot of these animatronics they'll be triggerable, so that they'll be able to be also stopped, so you can just use them in whatever facility or use case you have for them. But it will be good to see a couple options, just judging by the way that it's either kilted and rolled a little bit to the left. That's either the way they've placed it, or that is them representing motion and in animation.
I also think there's a lot of other like smaller objects in this picture which aren't like coming out to us so obviously, but the spotlights, for instance, I'm not sure if we really saw the lights themselves like this clear before, but I think the spotlight definitely looks really awesome, seeing that whole trail of light. I think even in just a regular theme park setting, there are lots of uses for that kind of thing. And it looks like, and this is just complete speculation, but it looks kind of animate-ish. Like, it is in a shape which could be animated, so that's just a wild guess. But it would be amazing to see that not be fixed, actually.
The things that I'm seeing right now that I'm very excited about, actually, is I find myself always just taking ice cream and making it black and then just using that as garbage bags. I'm seeing garbage, I'm seeing chain link fences, I'm seeing cardboard boxes, I'm seeing trash bins, I'm seeing what looks like a big AC unit at the back. I'm seeing a lot of just like junk, and that makes me excited. There's a dumpster in the back.
Lots of clutter.
Top right. Yeah. Yep. There's a dumpster. There's another bench back there that I also don't recognize.
So yeah, just touching on all of the cinema and set lighting. So just to point a couple out, over to the right near the jib arm with the camera on it, you've got some LED panels which are casting light. So those might be interesting thing that we can use maybe to sink into the ground if you don't want to just use it as a set of lights on a tripod. A couple lights right towards the back by the bus with barn doors. I can imagine that they'll be toggleable and able to show a bit of light. It doesn't look like they are at this point in the screenshot. And as you pointed out, we've had the spotlights and just another one with the barn doors pointing towards that bounce board. I think the level of detail that we're seeing just as far as the film equipment that they're putting in this game, even the operators who are animatronics as well, I'm just coming from a background of that. I'm really appreciative of the level of detail they've gone to on that.
Right. Yeah, I think they're really awesome. And in general, you know, even outside of this whole studio setting or even the backstage kind of stuff, which I think this update is definitely going to be great for, there are so many different uses in a theme park if you get more options for lighting. So I'm really happy that, you know, these are super flexible objects which you can pretty much add in any kind of setting.
Now, something I feel the need to bring up, which we were talking about before we started recording, is we're seeing a lot of different wall pieces and a lot of different window pieces that we haven't seen before. I have yet to see anything transparent. Now, they did very bluntly tease glass. I'm worried.
I am also worried at this point because all of the windows that they've shown so far is just a texture, and there's that sort of blurry light-ish texture on the back, which, to be very honest, I'm not really a big fan of how that texture looks. It looks a little bit fake, and then we've got the old glass pieces, the old window texture on the building on the left, which is also not that good. And the fact that they mentioned glass, and yet they've put out so many pictures, and we've never really seen a picture with transparent glass in it, is definitely something that worries me. Well, there's one more thing that I think I want to mention. I heard from somebody that Bo, in one of the live streams, I believe, said that the glass pieces that they're adding, you shouldn't add too many in your park or you might get some performance issues. And I think that does clue in that even if they haven't shown it so far, it might very well be transparent glass. So I'm really still hoping for the transparent glass here.
So essentially what Bo has made there is me and Silver still going to place like 50,000 in the park and see what happens.
Yeah.
As soon as it comes out.
For sure.
I mean, I've placed 50,000 gems already, and my park hasn't crashed. So
same here.
Just to point out a couple more things, such as the policemen and policewomen animatronics actually fighting the bandits, which I think we have seen before. So there are a couple more animatronics on show, and the explosion that seems to be going off is actually giving a few particle effects coming off the building. That is interesting to me, whether that's going to be like a debris falling effect similar to the snow, or whether it's actually going to be tied to the actual explosion. So we'll need to wait and see and have a look at that.
To me, that kind of looks like the newspapers from before, but maybe I'm going crazy.
That would be quite interesting if we have like an ambient newspaper kind of small dirt ambient piece.
I just want to see explosions, honestly.
Michael, bay this shit up. Thank you very much to Silvarret for joining us on this episode of the Schematics Update. And thank you very much to Fog for hosting. And to all of our listeners out there, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns, please leave a comment down below. And if you would like to know where Adfo is, just leave a like, because he'll come back. I swear. Thank you very much for listening, viewing, and watching. Goodbye.
Take care. Bye.